Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I know today's video is gonna be really random, and you're like, what is this? But hear me out. So there was this a new scandal, I guess, or a new drama, new juicy drama from Singapore that I'm like really invested in, and I just find it really funny. I mean, I know the situation is sad, but there's this something that's just really funny on top of it, which I'm gonna talk about later. For those of you who are out of the loop, you guys can go and check it out on TikTok. Basically, there was this video of this guy, Melvin Lim. He's from Property Lim Brothers. He was caught cheating with one of his employees called Grace Tan, if I'm not mistaken. And there was this recording of them, doing it in an office. And then they just went out where it's literally just the two of them. And then not long after that, he was basically removed from the company. I'm not really sure if he resigned or he was fired, but both of them are no longer working for the company. So I'm not actually from Singapore and I don't know the Singaporean property or real estate schemes or the industry. So I just don't really know like what is Property Lim Brothers and all that stuff. I don't have any clue. But when this scandal started, I was like, oh, what is this Property Lim Brothers? I gotta know what is this. So anyway, I haven't really done a lot of research on Property Lim Brothers, but I have seen the past videos of these two, being in the same video together. Basically, they're kind of like always be together in like company events, in talk shows, seminars, then the TikTok videos. Like, I don't know, they kind of just glue together. And now that everything is clear that these two, have something going on behind the scenes, kind of makes sense that that's the reason why they're just so close together all the time. Anyway, guys, I have some theories about this thing, and I am not really sure whether I should tell you guys. Okay, obviously I should because I am a blabbermouth and I cannot stop talking. So, I was, kind of blessed to know someone like Melvin Lim in my life. I know this one person. He was actually the friend of my sister, and I have known him since long time ago because he used to have a company, and then I used to work in his company. My sister used to work in his company, so he became good friends with my sister. And sometimes I guess when someone is friends with my sister or my siblings, then I just like, oh, I kind of just know them. And so they told me that he was cheating with his wife and all that stuff. So he's exactly like Melvin Lim. He is like old. He's such an old uncle, and like going out with young girls and like cheating behind their wife, that sort of thing. It's exactly the same copy, but I'm not going to talk much about him just to draw him as a comparison. But before we start, I really want to appreciate this guy in pink shirt. He was doing like leopard crawl, and then I cannot like there's a lot of memes that was produced because of this guy in pink shirt who was like doing this crawling, and be like, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what was his mission. He was like, was he trying to, take a peek at the gap on the bottom of the door? Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what his deal. Like, that is the cherry on top, and I am so glad, like he did that because this situation, like he just makes this situation like super duper funny. Like, I don't know. It's just again, I know like there are people being hurt with this, cheating scandal, but the guy in pink shirt, he's just the funniest. Like, that's all. That he's just the funniest. But anyway, moving on to the main characters, Melvin Lim and Grace Tan. So what people have confirmed is that Melvin Lim is actually married with 4 kids. He has been married since his early 20s, while Grace Tan, his mistress, she actually just recently got married. So her marriage only lasted, I guess, around 4 months old. I mean, we don't know if she's going to get a divorce or anything like that. But she was only married for 4 months. But before she was married, actually, she was having this a very, very long term relationship with her now husband. So she dated him for like I think 6 or 7 years, which is a really long time. So when I found out about all these facts, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Yeah, I mean, this is just something else. It reminds me of, the Ned Fulmer case, the cheating couple who is on Coldplay concert. Like, it's just, to me, I was like, wow, like that's crazy, the way they did that with all their lives, with all the people that they actually involved into their extramarital affair. um it's almost as if they're not thinking at all, like when they was like, oh my god, I want to cheat on that girl, or I want to cheat on that guy. They were not thinking, hey, but I have I have kids, I have a husband or a wife, like what about them? Are they in it too? Like, they're not really thinking about that. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. I mean, I kind of don't really give a shit if they're not married, like they're just boyfriend girlfriend. I mean, it's like it's as easy as that. Like, we broke up, that's all. But marriage is like a completely different thing, and especially if you have kids, that is just really the saddest thing ever. Anyway, so I have several theories. Like I said, I have several theories about this case. And I don't know, you guys can absolutely not believe me or whatever, but yeah, this is just my theory. I think this relationship between Melvin and Grace had started probably more than a year. I'm saying like at least a year. It could be 2 years, it could be more than 2 years. But my feeling is like that, like the definitive is that it's definitely more than a year. And as like what any extramarital relationship, I think the one who started is the guy. Sometimes when I think about it, like, okay, this is what happened, I just feel it's like so cringy. Because one thing about like cheating cases is that usually it is started by the guy. Sometimes the girl can like lure them in, like trying to invite them. But it's usually the guy. The guy had interest, and the girl's like, oh, okay, I'll allow it. And so that's when it happened. I think Melvin had a crush, on her since the moment she entered the office. Since the first time he ever laid eyes on her, he was like, oh my gosh, I want her. He's lucky because she is one greedy girl. And so she thought, there's this opportunity, that I can get from him. So why not? So, she kind of allowed it to happen. Like I said, they both are not thinking about other people that they might involve in their extramarital relationship. Should we call it a relationship? I feel like it's not really a relationship. It's an affair. So they're not really thinking about it at all. They kind of, both of them kind of just think about what they want. For Melvin, it's like, I want this girl. And for Grace, like, I want his money, I want his power, I want his everything. Sometimes rich people who seem to have everything, they're not doing things to get more money. It's because, above money there's this power or authority. That's like, I would kind of call it like, that's like the new luxury. So it's like, if you have a really, really strong power in lots of aspects in lots of people's life. I don't know, I think for the the poor people or the middle class people like me, we're kind of just like trying to get by. So at first we want money. Yes, I want money too. So do you, or whoever that is, middle income or lower. Like, we just want money. We don't really care about authority. We don't really care about power. But for rich people, because they already have money, what else they want is power. I feel like Grace is kind of eyeing on that. So at first, maybe in her early days of, doing this cheating thing, she's really happy to get money and all that stuff. But then she became even greedier, and then she's like, I want power, I want to control this company, I want to control the narrative of this industry, I want to be like, I just want power. So she kind of allowed the affair to happen for longer and worse. And the thing about Melvin too is that, I mean, he's a cheating guy, so he's really stupid. I'm not saying this to be mean to people who are cheating. I have never been cheated on, so I was not. I'm not trying to like attack my ex or anything like that. Actually, like in my close circle, I have never met a guy who is cheating. Like that just doesn't happen in my circle. So I'm not trying to like attack or hurt anybody. I'm just factually speaking. Guys who are cheating, it seems like a huge chunk of their intelligence has been taken away. So maybe before they, were before they cheat, they are a really, really, let's just say, inspirational leader, or a very, very smart, I don't know, inventor or something. Like people look up to them, like, oh wow, this guy's like really smart, this guy's like really such a charismatic leader and all that stuff. But the moment they cheated, that's it. I think, love sometimes really does can make someone a fool. They're kind of mistaken. They thought it was love, but lust can also actually make you stupid. So yeah, they just have lust over this mistress, and it makes them stupid, and so yeah, they just become stupid. And what I mean by listen, okay, what I mean by they become dumb, they are stupid, because like okay, like when I know about this, a friend of my sister who's like cheating on his wife, I was kind of like, why do I have to know this? But then now I kind of understand, like bad people, bad characters introduced in our life story, it actually serve a purpose. And most of the time it's just to make us, more aware that, this kind of people exist. I have been holding the microphone upside down, I'm so sorry, you guys. But yeah, it's like most of the time we just have to know, like, okay, this is their character. And like, it's always good to know, like, these kind of people exist. And you got to watch out for the signs and all that stuff. Even though maybe you have never experienced it yourself, maybe you have never been cheated on, like it's always good for you to know, right? But then when this case happened, I was like, I'm like seeing something familiar, because this is exactly what, these other people that I know are cheating on their partner is doing. Like when I said stupid, it is because their logic seems to completely disappear. Their action seems to bypass their logic. It happens with people with addiction too, by the way. So, like people who are addicted to drugs and all that stuff. The reason why sometimes you see people who are addicted to drugs, they will do crazy, crazy thing just to get a little bit of money, and use that little bit of money to buy more drugs, because it had bypassed their logic. Their logic just does not work anymore. And that kind of what happens with someone who's cheating, because I guess it is in a way a form of addiction. They're addicted to this person. So that's the reason why a lot of people like commented, if he's so rich, like if she is so rich, both of them are like really rich, by the way. If they are so rich, why don't they just go to a like really expensive hotel, expensive resort, where their privacy will definitely be there, they're not gonna be found out. Like, why rent a hotel with no soundproof? But then after I dig my memory, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of what happened with other cheating people. And I'm like, yeah, totally get it. It's because they are just that's two, they are, one, they're really stupid, and two, actually there was this kind of high that they have. It's like a kink that they have, which is to play this like a cat and mouse kind of game. It's like, oh, I want to be found out, but I don't really want to be found out, that kind of thing. Which is just really weird, by the way. Like sometimes people is like, do you want to be found out or not to be found out, right? Like you just do something clear. But for them it's like, oh, I want to be found out, but then I don't want to be found out. It's weird. um So there's this thrill of like, oh, I'm like hiding, I don't want to be found out, but they hide so lousily. I guess what I'm trying to say is that since their logic don't work, and you guys, I hope you guys are the people who don't cheat on your partner, so your logic still works. And so when your logic still works, you'd be like, I don't get how they think. And like same with me, I don't get how they think. There's no like rhyme or reason, like why are they playing this cat and mouse game. Because usually I guess what people also ask towards the cheating people is that, okay, if you love your mistress so much, then why don't you get a divorce and marry your mistress. And I'm telling you right now, one, that's not gonna happen. And two, if they do, they will probably just be getting a divorce pretty soon, or they'll both be cheating on each other too. Because the thing is, it's like, again, it's like a kink. So the reason why they love their mistress or their whoever is because they know that they're doing it kind of illegally, in a sense. Well, not illegally illegal, like they're doing it in a way that it's just not ethical. Like they know it and they like it. It's like, if they got a divorce, if they actually got a divorce and then they marry their mistress, it's like, oh no, I don't like you anymore, it's weird now. Like that's the reason why they like their mistress, is because you're wrong, because you are someone I'm not supposed to be with. Like they just like it. They like it like that. It's kind of okay, maybe I give you guys an analogy. Like for example, let's just say student and teacher. Let's just say this teacher likes this student, and then the student's like, oh, you like me so much, well, maybe I can stop being your student, and then we can have like an official relationship. And then the teacher might be like, oh no, it's weird now, I don't like you anymore. That's that's just how people are sometimes, with kings and stuff like that. And so the other thing, again, my theory is that actually when there's this recording of them doing it in an office, some people is asking like, why not do it in a hotel, why not do it in maybe other apartment that you have, right? And I think there is actually a reason why. It's because they have this other kink of doing it in workplace. It's like, imagine maybe like both of them, or maybe one of them, they love reading about this fan fiction about a boss and the subordinates so much that they actually do it in real life. It's kind of like that. They just have this kink for workplace kind of romance. In the middle of the video, we can see Melvin's like went to the toilet, and he bring this like wet wipes, which kind of makes me think like, okay, really, why don't you just rent a hotel, or rent a house? You guys have property companies, I'm sure you guys got lots of houses, that you guys can rent for a night or something. I'm sure the owner doesn't mind. And I think, and then that's when my mind goes, yeah, they want that office, they actually want that office. So I'm pretty sure that office, the people recorded, I don't think that's PLB's office. I think that's just the office that these two rented out for them to, do their action. This also makes me think like, why is it that, their affair must have happened for at least a year. So why not Grace, just resign and just be just simply be a mistress. I mean, if she become no longer an employee and just plain mistress, I'm sure Melvin wouldn't be kind of in a lot of trouble. Melvin would be able to just keep the company as it is. He would just, keep his position and stuff. The company wouldn't really like fire him or anything. But then again, like I said, this really fuels my theory that they actually do like this setting, this workplace romance. They probably read too much fan fiction into it, and they just want to make it happen in real life. And then, not to mention, Melvin is like, he's blinded by love, and he became stupid. Like, this is all a perfect combination for such juicy drama. Money is not a problem for people who are cheating. I have seen people who cheat on their partner. They literally kind of abandon their spouse and started buying lots of expensive things for their mistress. Like, yeah, again, just to draw a comparison, like this, my sister's friend, by the way, he's like really old, so I'm pretty sure he's not watching this kind of thing. He bought an apartment and a car for his mistress, while his wife only gets, I don't know, like maybe a very, very little pocket money every month. I guess what I'm trying to say is that people who are cheating have a completely different way of thinking, which, like I said, they bypass their logic. And people who don't cheat, people who are living in the righteous path, they have logic. Their logic still works. And so, if you guys are the kind of people who just never cheat, who are not cheating and never cheat on your partner, really good for you. But don't try to understand or reason people who cheat on their partner, because you will never understand their point of view. You will never get it, and that's why they did what they did. And you and I are not doing what they did. So anyway, guys, that's kind of what I want to say about this situation. I mean, you guys can take a look at what already happened, like the Ned Fulmer thing, the Coldplay concert couple thing. Did any of that ever end up in happily ever after? I just don't think so. They don't go to their mistress anymore once they found out. Once everything is already too late, basically. Then they kind of like, oh shit, I don't actually want this. Which is, again, it's a really, really weird way of thinking, but that's just how they think. Oh, you know what, guys? It reminds me of this one opinion by this TikToker. I forgot her name. I was like scrolling and then I saw her video. So I didn't like save it or anything, but her words really stick into my brain. So she said that the meanest thing a wife can do to their husband is to let them cheat. And I was like, oh, I like that. I was like, yeah, that's really true. Because like, as a wife, like, if you're a very, very good loving wife, if you found out that your husband is cheating, you would be like, stop it. Like, you would tell him like to just stop it, don't do it. What are you thinking? Like, you're trying your best to stop him from cheating, because you're such a good wife, because you're such a good loving wife. And actually, there was this good intention behind you trying to stop your husband from cheating, because you know damn well, like, you wives out there, you know damn well that when your husband continues the cheating, only bad things will happen. And that's why you try to stop him. So when a woman is like just really, really mean and just be like, you know what, I don't care about you anymore, then they will just be like, let him cheat. Maybe she's going to pretend like, oh, you're working overtime again. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. You work so hard for the family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they will be pretending to not know everything when actually they know. And they'll just, okay, just let him cheat. Just allow him to cheat. Whatever. I don't really care. They'll just let him cheat until something happened. And when it does happen, it's already too late for him to fix. There's just a lot of things that actually happen. It's not just being viral like this. Like, I'm gonna say this, actually, them being viral and just got fired from their job is actually a very light punishment. I have seen this guy, it was like long, long time ago, by the way, and I actually heard it like through the grapevine, so I'm not really sure if it's correct, but I think it's I think it is correct. But basically, he got a very, very bad sickness because he cheated on his wife. He got very bad sickness. His business literally fell down because my family used to be his customer. Very rapidly dying. I don't really, I can't really tell you guys like the process of it, but my family stopped buying from his company. He sells food, by the way, so we stopped buying. And then I don't know what happened. Like, a lot of people used to queue up in his shop and buy his food, and then nobody buys in his food stall anymore. Nobody buys from him anymore. And then he got sick, and then when he got sick, he doesn't have money for his sickness anymore because he spent it all on his mistress. And yeah, he actually died pretty much soon after that. It was pretty scary. Like, when I heard it, I think I was like 14 or 15. I was like, wow, that is really, really crazy. That is just so crazy. I mean, if you just gone viral and then you got fired from your job, I mean, at least you're healthy. At least you're still living. That guy actually got sick and died pretty short, like shortly after he was found out having a mistress. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I think the message is pretty loud and clear. Like, just don't cheat, you guys. But then again, I think nobody can tell you unless the damage had happened and it slapped you right in your face. I think only then you will listen. All right, you guys. I'm actually not from Singapore. I don't know anything about property and brevets and all this stuff. And then I heard that the Grace Tan is actually an influencer. But then when I go to her Instagram, she actually had privatized it. I was like, oh, that sucks. But that's all my opinion on this case, you guys. I hope you guys are satisfied now that I have answered all your questions, even though I'm not affiliated with these two people at all. But I hope you guys are satisfied. I hope you get like at least a bit of explanation, a bit of theory of what is going on. And I hope you guys like this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.